My name is MarioNFTBusiness, and this is MarioNFTB NFT. And today I have Ian with me. He's known to be sorry, it's the fucking part I fuck up on. He's known to be the OG Clubhouse 24/7 insiders. And definitely key into keeping that room open, I would say. He's a great trader, specifically in activity trading, is a coin that we termed. Uh, I would say he's a specialist when it comes to that regard. He's an NFT artist and he has a project out, and he's a very kind and helpful person in overall, just overall in the community. So I'm lucky to have you here. And yeah,
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me, and thanks for that's very kind of you to say. Thank you,
no problem at all.
Mario. Mario's really kind too. Everybody, just in case you're wondering,
Sometimes. No.
couple of kind gents in the insiders.
All right, so let me get started with what got you into the space to begin with.
A friend of mine who had gotten me into crypto in the first place. He knew I was super into art, and at the time I was very much like trying to get like my own little art gallery going locally. He's like, you should look at NFTs. And this was probably December 2 years ago or so. I remember sitting down at Christmas dinner and telling my family, I'm like, I think NFTs are going to be a big deal. And then what really pulled me in, I had tried to get into Axie Infinity and failed. And I kind of came back around to it when I heard Gary Vee was putting out a project. Gary Vee had been somebody that I had kind of been following on the old Instagram, and like kind of he was one of those entrepreneurs that like, I always was like, I liked that he swore a lot, I swear a lot. So
Yeah.
I'm trying not to swear right now.
But
it was one of those things where he like, he put out this project and I was like, okay, well, I'll get ready anyway. And so I got a MetaMask going and all that. And then yeah, like I didn't end up buying a VFriend. I ended up buying a bunch of community projects, a whole bunch of, all those community projects from back in the VFriends family in May of last year, 2021. And so, yeah, that's how I ended up getting into NFTs. But my big break is a buddy of mine gave me a VFriend that I ended up flipping. And that's how I started my trading journey.
That's amazing, man. That's amazing. I know you said you were interested in doing the art gallery in Axie Infinity. Now, can you talk a little bit about the Axie Infinity portion and then the art gallery?
Yeah, so I was the art gallery thing I was into. Yeah, we'll do that next. But the Axie Infinity, basically, it was the first play to earn game that I'd heard of. Like a game on blockchain that you could play and make money at, and that like blew my mind. As like I was at the time, I was a single dad trying to like, at the time I didn't have my kids and I was trying to get them, and I was like, anyway, couple extra bucks here and all that. So I was like, oh, this would be great if I could play a phone game or something, or a game on my computer for a couple hours before bed and maybe make some money off it. I had no idea how it worked. All I knew is that it would involve NFTs and that it was some sort of a game. That's it. And I just failed. I think I got MetaMask on a cell phone and like tried to get on Axie Infinity. Just like, all right, now let me get on. I'm ready. And then I didn't even own a computer actually. Like I was very much like not in this whole world on that end. I just had, Coinbase crypto until then. So so that was really it for the Axie Infinity. But which it's still an incredible thing, right?
Great
But
experience to kind of go through.
yeah, right, exactly. And I got burned before anybody. I lost a MetaMask wallet my phone got crushed, and I messed up recording my stuff. So
Oh, wow.
everybody take note, write that stuff down a few times.
Yep, it's so true.
It was a tough one. But the art gallery was like, I was trying to do that in the physical. I was working with local artists and trying to get like a box truck together and like a fancy set of steps. And there's all kinds of, where I live, there's a lot of opportunities to go sell your art. So my thought was, let me get the art to the consumers and just be like a little mobile art hub. But then I found NFTs. I'm like, I can do that in the digital world now, and it's incredible, right?
That's amazing. Yeah. So I'm gonna guess that's what led you into creating your own project then and getting into that.
Definitely part of it. Yeah. My first project was actually, do you remember Anonymonsters? The project I
Yep.
started with was I initially went down that road of trying to help other artists get in. Because that's always where my mindset's been. But after kind of helping him do it and seeing him take it over and do a great job with it and really just steer it the way he wanted to go as an artist, I that's when I started to think, okay, I feel like it's appropriate that I should now, be creative and make my own project, because that's one of the initial selling points of, like, even Gary back in the day used to say it. Anybody can be an artist now, right? And it's kind of come true for a lot of people. It's everybody's found their own. If you're doing pixel art or you're doing photography, there's all kinds of stuff. But
Yep.
yeah, that, like, my own project was really inspired by a lot of these other community projects, a lot of my friends out there, seeing what they're doing.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yep. Yep. That's amazing. But what interests you the most in the space currently in NFTs specifically?
Um, well, today's an interesting day in NFTs. And what interests me most, and what has really interested me the most, from the beginning, is the opportunity that artists still have. I think like a lot of people who are in this space who, um, either just got here and don't understand it. I feel like, a lot of the space was built on the kind of the shoulders of new artists finally, like, having this new place to express themselves. And I think that's what I'm looking forward to, is people remembering that that's what this is all about. Because I think that the
Yeah.
rather, like, I think where it's in my this is, again, this is just speculation, but I definitely think the small time, um, community based, um, projects are going to be the things that I'm excited about, for the next, coming months, and years. It's the kind of stuff I like. I think that's the big thing that I've really always tried to focus on, as much as I enjoy a good activity flip at 2 in the morning. When the ETH comes, it comes. But I've really also enjoyed, like, my favorite part about this whole space is how many awesome people I've been able to support. I got my Gina shirt on right now.
Yeah, that's an amazing shirt. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, and we'll tip the MAYC hat on. I just really wanted to show you. I got my crown on my hat though.
Yes.
Oh, look at you! You got, oh, look.
Yeah, we're all rocking. We're all supporting and rocking. Yeah.
I was like, make sure dinosaur butt feet is somewhere in there. Like, I got to make sure it's visible.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hell yeah. Um, but that's like the best part about all this, man. It's been you and everybody else that like I've gotten to know in this space. And you're out here, uh on your end, and you're this, very talented, market analyzer and trader, and you really got a, knack for understanding where, the projects are going, and things like that. And you're really also, like, everybody's got their lane, and it's really awesome to, like, but like see these, like, everybody's in their own lane, but also just completely willing to, like, collaborate. And that's like, that's so exciting to me, and that's not going anywhere. That's my favorite part.
Yeah, it's so true. The relationships built and the connections built and like the ideas that you can do together and just take like, yeah, it's a lot of growing. It's so true. Just like where we were a year ago to like how much we've learned just in like everything, not even in the NFT space, just in everyday life too. Is just like it's mind blowing, very mind
Mhm.
blowing. No.
Right, my Atlanta. We're still new though. Don't we're
Oh yeah, we're
still
still.
have plenty to learn. Plenty
I
to
like
learn.
I like to call myself an amateur still, right? Because it's
Oh
like
yeah,
you're in your second year essentially. Very
exactly. I
yeah.
mean, really, that's exactly where we're at. And it's, but the crazy thing is almost everyone else is too. Even the most, OG people have been here for, what, 5 years. And
Yeah,
they're
it's true.
like, they're veterans of the, and you'd still be in a lot of different professions. You would be very young and new, but like the space is so young itself that it's yeah, like there's so much more to learn, and we're
Oh yeah.
we're that much wiser already. So that's kind of mind blowing.
Seems
To
like
think.
every cycle we go through, or there's learning lessons to be had, it seems.
For
We're
sure.
going through a few right now, to be honest.
Exactly.
And yeah, it's awesome. It's what makes it so fun and almost addicting. Can
Exactly.
be dangerous if you don't balance your life and correctly.
We think we've all had our our lessons learned there as well,
Yep.
myself included. Drink water, stretch, we knew it all, but remember to do it.
Yeah, it's so true. And did you want to talk about what inspired you to create your new project?
Yeah. So I basically had been involved in the NFT space for a while, and really becoming like I'd been kind of learning more and more about OG artists in the space, people like Pac and X Copy, and this guy Eddie Gangland was always a guy I was interested in because he seemed always connected to all these other OGs. Um, and I I kind of almost like, I don't know how it happened, but like I started recognizing like um this this style of art, and it kind of like brought back this memory of this artist that I had heard of, that I've always like kind of like on the fringe known about and liked, and his name is Jean-Michel Basquiat. A lot of people don't know who he is. I couldn't even pronounce his name when I started this whole thing, but which we all know. I learned that very quickly. I was saying it wrong. um, but I started learning about this artist, and what I noticed a few things. Like first, I was like, his work was incredible. I really didn't have any idea who he was, so there was a ton of things to learn about him, and he really only lived for a short time. So it's incredible that just the depth of work that he had in such a short period of time. There's brilliant big time artists that have a tenth of this, out in the world. Um, and I really made I really just, for me, the connection was there very plainly. Like a lot of these OG people are really into Basquiat. Maybe I should learn about Basquiat, because these artists are all people who I look up to, and they seem to look up to this guy. And then as I started learning about him, it's just like an incredible person, had been through the hardest and best times you could possibly imagine in your life, things that I could literally hadn't even imagined until I learned about him being a part of it. And it's incredible. And as I'm learning about this guy, I also was like, maybe I should get back into making my own project. So the first thing I drew was like a little three-pointed Basquiat crown. Like, I have one on my hat here,
Yeah.
over the skull, on the mutant skull. But it was one of these things where I was like, I've always been creative. I've always been artistic. I had never really messed around with any kind of like specifically painting, anything like that in the physical, and especially not in the digital. The only reason I had the painting application on my iPad was that I could I tried to do pixels when I had seen bit shields way back, and I couldn't figure out how to do it, and I gave up. So anyway, I picked it up and I started doing these crowns, and I just, as I was going through, and I make a crown, and then I would make a new image, and then make a crown, and then make a new piece, and then make a crown. And I was going through, as I was doing it, I was just trying out every single brush. I was like, let me just see what all of this is about. And soon enough, I was like, I've made like 100 of these things, and they're getting better. Like they're not great yet, but I was like, this is like, it's been extremely therapeutic. It was wonderfully fun to discover things that I could do artistically, digitally. Like I was like, I had no idea I could do some of these things. So that's kind of when the project came into my head. I was like, what if I do 1,000? No need to go out and go crazy, but like if I can really do 1,000 of something, that will be meaningful to me that I did it, and maybe it'll be meaningful to other people too. And it kind of became that. So it became these late nights of not only I guess you call it degenning, but you could say activity flipping, or NFT trading. Late nights of NFT trading, while I was also talking to my friends and everything, I was painting these crowns. And every few minutes I could get here or there, like I used to do it in the car when I'm waiting to pick up my kids from school and stuff, I'd make like 3 crowns. And
That's awesome.
and
Yeah.
and as I've been, just kind of manually creating this whole project, learning about Basquiat, I just really felt like I was like, this is a great thing. And then the other thing I learned is most people also have no idea who this guy is. So I thought maybe like the big point of me doing this project, and this kind of I realized after really completing it and getting it out there. And I actually went to New York City and saw a live Basquiat exhibit show. I don't even know what to call it because it was mind blowing. It was just like over 200 of his pieces, and just like boom. I never thought I would even do it, and a very
That's
good friend of
amazing.
mine helped me out to get down there. A crown holder. Uh, but like I really realized like Jean-Michel Basquiat should be like a household name in the way that like Salvador Dali, you know who he is, you know who Andy Warhol is. It's the soup guy. Like you should know Basquiat as that guy with the crowns,
Yeah.
and the rest of his powerful work. Like that, like that's the thing, is it's like a lot of artists are defined by one thing, and maybe he could be defined by his, maybe he's not, maybe he's defined by his words too. But for me it was always the crowns. And so yeah, this project is basically now out there to raise the good word of Basquiat.
It's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, the good art, I should say. Good words, good art, good vision.
Because
um
yeah, it definitely helped me. Like, because I heard of his name before, but it never put two and two together until you told me about him. And then yeah, it definitely right. I watched a documentary on him, and yeah, the education and the learning, it's amazing. I love learning about new artists, and especially like, well, I guess established artists, but like new to me. Yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah,
right,
it's
yeah,
amazing. Yeah.
yeah. Well, that's one of the incredible things about art, and that's why I really feel like it's important to remember that the space is in a lot of ways built on art. It is one of those things. And forever it can be discovered. It can be new to anybody. Like Basquiat passed away in 1988, but I fell in love with him in 2022,
Yeah, yeah,
and it's like and it's been a long time, but that's the kind of the beauty, and that's one incredible thing about NFTs. It's like these are forever, until if the blockchain ever crumbles, right? But even then, like this stuff will all be backed up. It's non-fungible.
yeah. It's pretty mind blowing. Yeah, when we put it in that context, yeah, it's
Yeah.
so true.
Also, 20% of everything from my project is going to charity. Haven't picked a charity yet. I'm actually trying to get in contact with the family who controls the estate of Jean-Michel Basquiat and see if they have any input, because I feel like if I can get input from them about where I should send these funds, I would love to do that. And if not, I will try to pick something that I think Basquiat would think was appropriate.
It's amazing. Yeah. Wow. That's a great cause too. Yeah. That's awesome, man. And
Um,
your favorite 3 top NFT projects right now?
my top three right now. It's hard to like. There's just on so many levels, man. Like obviously it goes like dinosaur butt feet number one.
Yes.
um, I, I really like, as far as big name projects. Like I'm really big on me bits. Like I think that they're still working. They've been working for a long time. And I think that their end goal is good. The like interoperable avatar NFTs. I think it's a cool idea, and I think that they're like not only are they one of the earlier 3D avatar NFTs. I don't know the whole history of it to do a T. I'm sure there's NFT historians who would correct me. But like they're pretty friggin' OG, and they have a pretty cool goal that no one else has achieved yet. So I think like if they make, like, I think that's a really cool thing. Um, and who will I give lucky number three to? I think I gotta go Goop Dudes. I think Goop Dudes, I've been with that community for a long time, and they're very funny. It's an art driven project. There's no real utility, but they're a lot of fun. They're really nice people. Everyone I've interacted with from that community has been kind, and generous and educational, and like, which is, there's great people in every space, but it's really hard to find concentrations of great people in spaces, and that's one place I found it. So for the community in the art group dudes, for the future me bits, and for the obviously the shattering of the blockchain that is inevitable, dinosaur butt feet, anything dinosaur butt feet adjacent, you're doing okay.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, it's so true.
Oh, can I do this? I said, if you
Absolutely.
Google Basquiat, because don't even worry about my project. I even named it. It's 1,000 crowns. I'm not even worried about telling you about my project. Go look this guy up. Is it backwards? It probably is.
It looks good on me, on my end.
All right, good. JeanMichel Basquiat. That's him. That's the guy you want. Yeah, that's all I got for you, bud. I mean, we can
Yeah, wrap it up.
I
Yep.
think we can wrap it up. Thanks, though. This was fun.
Yeah, this was awesome. Well, thank
And
you so much for
I'm glad
being
you're getting
here.
all right. This is weird. I haven't had to hang up a Zoom call on like a friend in a while. It's really easy when it's like a therapist.
It's so true.
All right, bye, Mario.
Later, man. Have a good one.
Later. Getting the rust off the wheels. Who are you getting next? I think you gotta get Kid Jet next. Or you gotta get or you could get Silhouette Kevin.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Silhouette Kevin. Yeah. That would be awesome.
That would be really good. He'll have
awesome,
the window on purpose. He'll be like, no, I don't want you to see.
Yeah. So true.
That's good.